Alright, so specific purpose is to inform my audience about the history of coffee and how it was brought to the United States. If you don't drink coffee, you're less likely to live longer than those who do. Many people don't know how about the history about coffee or what it looks like or how it was brought to the United States. According to Coffee Benny, access on February 15, 2019, the most coffee consumers are usually college students. So you can go around campus, and usually you'll see someone carrying a coffee cup. If not, they'll be drinking iced coffee. I mean, it doesn't matter what the weather is outside. I mean, you always see somebody drinking iced coffee or coffee. If not, I mean, sometimes you yourself wake up in the morning and think, oh, a cup of coffee sounds good today. I usually drink it every day, so that tells you a lot. Most of my teammates drink it every day. So today we will kick off with the history of coffee, and then we will go into how coffee was made, or how coffee was grown, and finally we will discuss how it came to the United States. So first, let's talk about the myths of who found coffee and how it was brought up, I guess you could say, who kind of investigated it, I guess you could say. According to the Ethiopia legend of how coffee was found, was from Khalid. He was a goat hurdler, and he was in highland, and he started to see his goats acting strange and very energetic, and they started dancing around. So he was seeing what was the reason why they were doing that, and he noticed that they were eating it from a cherry berry plant. So he himself tried it and noticed the effect right away and how energetic, and it boosted his energy. And so there's another legend according to lemons and how it was found. It was according to, it's hard to say his name, Al-Shaddad. He was walking around in his spiritual path, and he said he spotted a bird, and he noticed that it was very energetic and that he started eating the same cherries that the goat hurdler had seen. And so he himself tried it and decided to use it anytime he had a spiritual walk for hours, and it would just keep him up. And so that's how they say coffee was found. How it was grown, or how it's grown, there's two types of plants, and it's called the coffee arabic and the coffee robusta, and those are two plants. They can be grown in very wet weather, so the most that they've grown is in Brazil. They grow a lot of coffee there because of how much it rains and stuff, and they're usually grown in a jungle, in a forest, somewhere where it's typically always wet, and that's how it's grown. They take the berries. I don't know if you guys knew this, but coffee comes from berries. If you were to eat a cherry, you know how they have that seed inside of them. That's the same thing coffees came out from. And how it was brought to the United States, according to Caffeinated History of Coffee, it was through the Boston Tea Party in 1973, how it was brought, because we usually, back in that day, they would use tea to drink, and then once the Boston Tea Party came, it was through, that's how they brought in the coffee. It was through the Boston Tea Party of 1973. So today we kicked off with the history of coffee, and then we went into how coffee was grown, and then we finished off by how it came to the United States. And so many people don't know the history of coffee and how it was brought to America and how it's grown and what it actually looks like, and it's a plant. And so people who don't drink coffee, if you're not a coffee drinker, you will live less longer than those who drink coffee. Thank you.
That was much, definitely.